Okay, so we are up to Unit 3, Video 3, and this one is the Epiphany. It's a very short and sharp topic, okay, and it's more important for you to know how Catholics celebrate Epiphany and have an understanding of why it is important in case a question like explain why the liturgical year or the liturgical calendar helps Catholics to understand the life of Jesus, understand key beliefs, that style question. Okay, so I'm only going to give you sort of two ideas that you can include about why the Epiphany is important. So first of all, let's go into what exactly the Epiphany is. Now, the Epiphany is officially the event of when the Magi visited the baby Jesus. Now, previously, okay, or well, initially, it was the day that Christians celebrated as the Incarnation. All right, it was the time when Jesus was revealed to the world. All right, as obviously in today's society we see it more as being Christmas Day. All right, but traditionally it was the Epiphany. Now, you could get asked to describe how Catholics celebrate the Epiphany. All right, so there's a variety of different practices and customs that you can include here. Okay, so the first one, all right, is that a popular Epiphany custom included Epiphany singing. Okay, so you probably all know the song "We Three Kings." I'm not going to make your ears bleed by giving you a rendition, okay, but that's the type of example that you could include, right? It preaches the message of the Epiphany, and you can say it's a form of evangelization as well. So number one, Epiphany singing. An example that you can use is "We Three Kings." It spreads the message of the Epiphany and the true meaning of Christmas and the Incarnation. Another one, okay, is, and this again, it's a traditional thing, is having one's house blessed, okay, or chalking the door, okay. Now, this is one, I'll be honest, it's a practice that is a very traditional one and not really commonplace in today's society, but it's something you can include in your answer. So, for example, Catholics mark their house with a year, okay, and the initials CBM, all right, and the reason for that is that it stands for the names, okay, of the three wise men, all right, the Magi, so Caspar, Balthazar, and Melchior. Now, the third one is that they go to Mass. All right, it is a holy day of obligation. All right, and so you say this is because it's a holy day of obligation and it recognizes the Incarnation. All right, that's your sort of explanation of why they go to Mass. One of the other things that they do, classic Catholics, all right, there's always food involved, all right, that they eat Three Kings cake, which I can only describe as being a little bit like a yum-yum, maybe, sort of like in a bigger version, somewhere between a yum-yum and brioche. Okay, and this is cake that's decorated with three colours to represent the three kings and to remind everybody this is a time of celebration. Cake and celebration go hand in hand. All right, and the final thing is that it is customary, all right, so it's commonplace for Catholics to remove all their Christmas decorations on Epiphany Eve, okay, which is also called 12th night. All right, and the reason for this is that this is now the beginning of what is called ordinary time in the liturgical year. All right, so it's sort of like the period between sort of the Christmas time and the Epiphany, and then leading up then until Ash Wednesday, which is the beginning of Lent. Okay, so if you get asked about why the Epiphany is important, as I said, it'll be more to do with the question of it being explaining why the liturgical year is important or how it reveals the mystery of Jesus. Okay, so the first reason that the Epiphany is important is that number one is that traditionally it was the time when the Incarnation was revealed, okay, and this is because it is when Jesus, so when Jesus was sort of visited by the Magi, that this was the time that he was revealed. It's like a metaphor almost, when Jesus was revealed to the world. Okay, so therefore that is why we've got all the different practices that we do that I've just mentioned in the sort of the described questions we talk about. That's why it's a holy day of obligation. We go to Mass, we have Three Kings cake, that type of idea. All right, now the second answer, all right, second thing you can focus on, but when it comes to the Epiphany, is that it's important because it represents that Jesus was for all people. All right, now this is because the Magi were the second visitors, all right, as well as the sort of the shepherds, so it reveals these for all of society, but also the wise men, all right, or the Magi, I keep on refer to them as the Magi, preferably, all right, that they were considered to come from far and wide, okay, from over the world, all right, or from the east. Now, as a result of that, it's the idea that Jesus isn't just for those, what's called sort of in Jerusalem, okay, or Bethlehem, that instead that Jesus was for everyone across the world, okay, so that's another important idea. So therefore, that at that point you could say about what Catholics think they do at this time is, I'd link this to Epiphany singing. It's the idea of getting that message out that Jesus is for everyone, all right, to the rest of society, all right, and it's called Epiphany singing. It's something that is commonplace even in today's society. Doing We Three Kings is a popular Christmas song, all right, or carol. So that sort of concludes what the Epiphany is, how it's celebrated, and why it's important. Remember, there's only the two reasons why it's important. Traditionally, it was when the incarnation was revealed. And the second one is that it represented Jesus was for everyone. There's not the commonplace four that we have for this, and the reason for that is that it's, like I said, it's very unlikely that the Epiphany will be asked as one question all by itself. Thank you.